All right, hello. Welcome to the Data Analytics Welcome Workshop. This is a workshop that we require all of our new admits to the Huntsman School to attend. Whether this is your first time being in college or you're a transfer student, or you've been at Utah State for a little bit and you're just new to the major, we require students to do this workshop just so they can be informed about just some of the generals about the major and then meet our success team as well. Meeting your team here. So my name's Nick. I am the academic advisor for the major, and I am helping you with getting you to graduation. So like picking out classes and things like that, ways to get involved, all that fun stuff. And then Valerie is our career coach for the major. So she helps you with kind of like the what's next. So it's like, we know you're majoring in data analytics, but how can we make the most of our time here at Utah State with getting involved with like internships, job search strategies, and making it where when you graduate, you will have a job offer in hand or be ready to just transition right into your career in data analytics. So that's a little bit of the difference between what like an academic advisor, myself, and then what Valerie does as your career coach. And then our next slide here is our statewide campus advisor. So if you ever leave the Logan main campus or if you are a statewide student watching it right now, the academic advisor is Amanda. She's the one that you're going to want to meet with, but if you still have questions that are related to career, please still contact Valerie as she kind of does all of our campuses within the Utah State system. And then for our appointment policy, the QR code you see on the screen is how you can schedule an appointment with me or Valerie. And then for appointment policy, we have a 10-minute grace period, which means like, let's say your appointment starts at 2 o'clock, you have until 2:10 to show up to that appointment until we mark you as a no-show. Our appointments are only 30 minutes long, so if you show up 10 minutes or later, it's kind of hard to get all your questions answered without rushing. And then it's also out of respect for other students that we might have scheduled after you and our time as advisors. And then also something to mention, like for our phone appointments. So if you do schedule a phone appointment, like you're required to call in, like we don't call you for those appointments. And the reason we do that is because you calling into our office makes us aware that like you're ready and prepared for the appointment. Instead of us calling you and catching you off guard. So if you do schedule a phone appointment, just make sure to call in. But our preferred method of meeting is in person or on Zoom. That's just because it's easier to share our screen with you, easier to talk about what we're doing and be able to review your stuff that we have set up or we're going to get set up for you. And then a little bit about appointment etiquette, making sure to scheduling a time that works best for you. So like don't skip class to meet with us. And if you can cancel the appointment, whether it's sending us an email that being like, hey, I can't meet today, something came up, or just going back through the Achieve system to be able to cancel that appointment. And then minimal distractions and noises. This kind of pertains to like the Zoom and phone appointment. So like, just for example, like don't be driving, like don't be calling us while you're on the highway, because one, that's dangerous. Also, it's hard for you to maybe fully be able to pay attention to what we're talking about. Like don't be doing chores, like make sure you are ready and prepared for that meeting, and then just finding a quiet place for that meeting. So like, again, like don't be out to like eat with friends or like walking out of the restaurant and calling in to like us. Like try to find a nice quiet spot, whether it's like a study spot on campus, in your apartment, or wherever you're at. Making sure to dress appropriately as well. Like, right, we're professionals. We want to meet with you and like, right. But also just making sure to wear that appropriate dress. Also, because in the business school, we do have a lot of employers that are coming in and out every once in a while, or almost every day. I feel like actually we have employers that are coming in and out. So it's good to make sure if you are going to be able to go to like some of those meetings that you are dressed appropriately for that as well. And then just be prepared with your questions. We're here to help you. So it is best if you do come into the appointment with questions and things to ask us, because it doesn't make us have to make up things on the spot. So being prepared for the appointment is really helpful for us as well. And then student privacy. So FERPA is something you might hear people talk about. So this is a government act that protects your data as a student, so not anybody can just call in and get what you need. So you have security phrases and delegates. So if you do schedule like a phone appointment, or if you show up on Zoom and you don't pull up your camera, you might be asked your security phrase. And that's something that you set up a while ago. If you don't know how to set up your security phrase, or you forgot what your security phrase, just reach out to me and we can help you figure that out. And then delegates are really there if you like want your parents to be able to access your academic information or not. Or if you like have a girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, like your significant other that you want to access your information, like they need to be a delegate on your account. Sometimes students go on missions and like parents help them with the registration for that semester that they're intending on coming back. So this is important to make sure they are delegates if you need help with something like that. Just because if they do call in and they do jump on a Zoom appointment and they're not a delegate, then we can't give them any information about you as a student. And then lastly, just make sure to be constantly checking your student A number email. As long as you check it like once in the morning, once in the afternoon, you normally don't miss anything. Also, we want you to be emailing us from your A number email, that just because that is your FERPA protected email. So if you email us from like a Gmail account, we'll probably ask like for you to send us your A number and some other like kind of security questions to make sure that we're sharing the information with the right person. And then before I pass it over to Valerie here, another resource that we have that's kind of part of your success team as well is our Start Desk. So this is located on our first floor, kind of main floor when you walk into the Huntsman Hall or the Eccles Business Building, between the two buildings and one of the airways, kind of right by the main entrance. This is where our student mentors will sit, and they can help with helping you find classes if you kind of don't know where to go, quick advising questions. They do resume reviews. So really anything that's like kind of like just quick questions, you can always just stop by there and they can help. Or if you need like a perspective on a class or professors, sometimes our student mentors are a little bit better at giving that information out just because they're students here, where me and Valerie, we're kind of have to be unbiased on professors and things like that. So we might not be able to give you like suggestions for that side of the classes or like our employers or anything like that. But I'll pass over to Valerie here.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Nick. I am so happy to be here and share this time with you, even though this is virtual. As the screen shows, I'm going to talk about the purpose of being a career specialist or a career coach. I usually like to start my portion of this presentation, by asking the following question. Would you like a job offer by the time you graduate? Hopefully that was like an emphatic yes, because that sums up my purpose as a career coach. My goal, my hope, my dream, my wish is to help you land a job by the time you graduate. And one of the best ways that we can do that is if you set an appointment with me, so I can get to know you, to know what your goals are, and then we can talk about the steps that will help you with that long-term goal of that competitive job offer by the time you graduate. So this screen shows that our team has thoughtfully crafted milestones that you can accomplish during each year that you're here with us during the Huntsman School of Business. And you can see on the right-hand side, these are some of the things I can do to support you in. So I can help you with some career exploration to see where your skills and interests align. I can also help you with building a strong resume and LinkedIn profile, which are critical components of landing those opportunities. I can also help you with the tips and strategies to find internships, part-time jobs, or other experiences, as well as help you with those interview experiences. And networking is a huge component of being successful in those internships and job opportunities. Networking often comes across as uncomfortable, or kind of students just have a mental block on networking, and really we can break it down and just helping you to connect with people. And that's what will make the difference. And connecting in ways, as you can see in the final bullet there, visiting with employers and doing some job shadowing or informational interviews. The other thing you can see on red, oh, and I wanted to jump up to the roadmap. I think of it not as a roadmap to graduation. That's really Nick. Nick is going to help you with graduation. This is really your roadmap to a job offer. So there are specific steps that you can complete and help you to know if you're trending to get that job offer by the time you graduate. So with that long-term goal, it's really helpful to have these smaller steps that will help you get there. And then the other thing in red I want to point out is to start now meeting with Nick and I. We are your success team. We're dedicated to helping you be successful. When I meet with seniors for the first time, it's really difficult to pack in those 4 years experience in your final year. So your call to action is to meet with us. And if you're not sure what to talk about, don't worry. Nick and I, we know what to talk about with you. So schedule that appointment. We're here to help you. Next up, you can see these are some career paths as they relate to majors in data analytics. Each column header is a functional area within data analytics. This is only about half of the functional areas. Then each row under each column header are job titles that align with that functional area. And so again, this is a great opportunity to discuss some of these in terms of what skills, strengths, characteristics are part of each job. And we can best do that in individual appointments. Next up is Huntsman has more than 20 minors that Nick probably will talk about in more detail in the second part of his presentation, but we as career coaches like to think of them as career accelerators. So do you have to do a minor? Absolutely not, you don't. But depending on your interest and where you want to go, minors can be a really great way to help set you apart and show employers that you have this background. And so there are some common pairings with data analytics. You can see there on the screen, information systems, accounting, marketing, and entrepreneurship are some common ones. And again, if you have any questions, you can ask Nick or I. Are there any others that come to your mind, Nick?
Those are like the common ones. I mean, Valerie covered it pretty good with some of the minors. Like, if you have any more questions about like the minors you mentioned here, or any of the ones that like are available, whether it's in the Huntsman School or outside us, just come talk to me about them, and we can kind of talk about like things. You don't have to do a minor for the data analytics major for graduation, but with it kind of being like kind of a broad net in what you can get into and get involved with in data analytics, sometimes we do suggest students look at it. Another common one that I do see now that I'm actually looking at the list a little bit more and paying is finance. Finance is another common one that we do see students add as well. So the four you see on the screen along with finance are some of the common interests of our students.
Perfect, yeah, thank you for that. Okay, next thing is internships. I love to talk about internships. You'll find I love to talk about all of these things we talked about today. And that's because when I see students engaging in internships, those are one of the things that will fast track your opportunities to getting that competitive job offer by the time you graduate. And while data analytics students are not required to do an internship, I still encourage students to do internships early and to do them often. And we're going to talk about on this screen some of the benefits of completing an internship. And these are the rectangles along the right-hand side. So the first orange rectangle shows having that real-world experience is critical when landing that first-time offer. Employers want to know that students have the ability to implement what you've learned, not just that you are successful in going to school, taking tests, and earning a high GPA. Next, networking is really critical, and completing an internship gives you a fantastic opportunity to work for that 12 to 15 weeks in an environment with professionals that are within your desired career. So whether you decide to pursue a full-time offer at that company or not, those professionals will still be able to give you a positive reference. Next, completing internships is also a unique experience where you get paid to try on a career to decide if you like it or not. And in college, it's a really unique opportunity to complete internships. Once you graduate from high school, it's really difficult to do an internship. And when I talk about internships, again, I want to emphasize, I mean paid experiences. Certainly, there are some students who, depending on the situation, may choose to do an internship or an experience that isn't paid, and that's fine. It's not negative. Just know that when I talk about internships, I'm mostly promoting those paid ones. When I see students who have completed these internships, I find that some love it and some find out this is not the functional area for them. And it's still good information and they were paid to figure it out. And then the other thing research shows is when students complete internships, they have more confidence, not only in their ability to perform and do the thing, but also in talking about it. So students are able to better articulate their strengths on their resume and in interviews, and that really shines through. And then lastly, in that green rectangle, you can see that many students who complete internships either have an opportunity for a follow-on internship the next summer, depending where they are in school, or that full-time offer. So internships are really key, super valuable to you. Next up, another milestone on your academic journey to, I guess I should say not your academic journey, but your journey to getting that full-time offer is getting involved in clubs. Recruiters and employers really like this because it shows students were able to do more than just the minimum requirement of graduating. It also showcases your ability to juggle multiple priorities, which is time management is a valuable skill to showcase. I want to call out this acronym that you'll see. It's DAISSA, DAISSA. It stands for Data Analytics and Information Systems Student Associations. And you can read the benefits of club involvement in those bullets below. I just quickly want to talk about each club. So the first circle that you see is AIS, the Association for Information Systems. This is an international professional organization. We have the student chapter here on campus. Our student chapter has been voted #1 nationally for many years. And so the way I look at it is all of these other clubs are kind of a sub-club of AIS. And so we also have the AI Club, the next logo with the bar graphs and the arrow pointing up. This is the Analytics Solutions Center. There are a couple parts to know about this. This is a phenomenal resource to you as students. My hope is that everyone will engage with this. So it's also referred to as the ASC. Students can do paid work experiences through this that can count as internships. They also have what they call Innovation Labs, which they hosted last year. This coming academic year, they're going to have them on Mondays and Thursdays every week. And this is to provide students the opportunities to get involved, great leadership opportunities to do projects, again, that are paid. You may get mentoring by the faculty mentors at the ASC. So if you have a personal project you're working on, or other students may have a project they're working on and may want other students to kind of step in. So it's a great opportunity for that. They're also going to focus on career exploration, skill building. They invite industry professionals, so that's great for career exploration. And again, that networking component that can seem so ominous, but they really break it down and make it easy for students to connect with these industry professionals. Next logo is the Sports Analytics Club. Please note that this is not their logo. I put on there, I stole it from LinkedIn. So it's not our club logo, but just to show that we do have a Sports Analytics Club on campus. They officially started last year, so watch out for more information there. Next logo is Baddies in Tech, also not our club's logo. I stole it from Facebook just so that I could have a logo up there. And then the last one I mentioned here is Hack USU. This happens every February. It's an absolutely phenomenal opportunity to get involved in competitions, which is great for your resume. Also helps you connect with your peers. And also the DAIS department brings in a lot of companies, which is great, again, for that career exploration and networking. And so they have competitions, workshops. They feed you tons of food and it's tons of fun. And there are hundreds and hundreds of students who come from around the state to participate. So I'm talking fast because I have a lot to cover. And if you have questions, please reach out, let me know. Next thing I want to talk about is Dare Mighty Careers. This is a Canvas course you should see on your landing page. It will probably technically say Dare Mighty Data Analytics and Information Systems Careers. There are 3 things I want you to know about this course. The first one is the semester checklist. By completing the activities, you have the opportunity to be validated. The first 10 students to be validated fall semester will receive a gift card. Data analytics and information systems students have a high record of participation. So let's keep it up. Let's be the first department to get those 10. Don't let your predecessors down. You guys are rock stars. The second thing I want you to know is announcements. There are 4 parts of the announcements I want you to know about. This is how I communicate to students. I don't send you emails. I don't want to spam you. This announcement typically goes out on Wednesdays. So the first part of the announcement is I curate all of the department events so that are specific to your majors. So you don't have to scour the internet or to know what's going on. I will put it all right there for you. Second part, this is where you'll find internships. Third part, job opportunities, whether part-time or helping seniors with that full-time opportunity. And then fourthly, this is where I'll put club links. So if you want to know how to get involved in our day's clubs, it's right there every week. Third thing about Dare Mighty Careers is resources. There are modules for all of these steps along the way that will help you along that journey to landing that full-time job by the time you graduate. A lot of the resources are made available so that you can do them at your own pace. So, and then you can set appointments with us to follow up so that we can dive a little bit deeper. And the resources in the modules go deeper than our website. So it's kind of a sequence of progression. So again, any questions, please reach out. Love to talk to you about it. Next up, this is a list of Huntsman School of Business opportunities. I invite you to pause the screen to see what the resources are, to read a quick description. We've talked about many of them so far. There's 3 that I want to call out super quick. One is about having international experiences. You can do that through Global Learning Experiences and SEED. Those experiences last anywhere from 1 week up to a semester. They are very affordable, and on top of that, there are scholarship opportunities to make it even more affordable. And it's really helpful for your resume and interview and job application, and will help you be a strong candidate. Second is Focus Fridays. Typically, Huntsman School of Business does not have classes on Friday, and that's to give you time to develop professionally. So please take advantage of those opportunities that will help you. That's one of those steps that will help you land that job by the time you graduate. Last one I want to talk about is in the middle of the screen. It's called the Huntsman Hive. That's new this year. You can read the description on the slide. That is going to be located in the newest building in the Huntsman School. It's going to be just east of Huntsman Hall. It's going to be amazing. So go there and check out the resources and all the events happening there. And last thing before I turn it back over to Nick, these are some of those items that will be on your checklist to graduate or to have that full-time offer by the time you graduate. And so you can kind of see and check off, do I have a job? Have I completed an internship? Have I done some career exploration? Have I gone to the career expo? Those types of things. So just a quick visual. Again, I invite you to pause, look it over, and I'm going to quickly pass the time back over to Nick.
All right, so we're just going to transition back into just talking about some of the in the classroom stuff and some of just the basic requirements you need to be able to graduate from USU and the Huntsman School of Business. So on the screen, you can kind of see some of the basic requirements that we offer for your general in-depth education. Come talk to me about that, because there's with some maybe your concurrent enrollment classes, AP classes, any of that stuff, you might have some already general education stuff completed. So and within our majors, we do have stuff that covers some of the general education and depth education. So we don't want you to take 2 classes when you only really might need 1. For all of our majors, our GPA requirement is a 2.5 GPA or higher. So just kind of keep that in mind. And then on the next slide here, we have something called the business acumen. The business acumen is a set of classes that all of our business students take, so it doesn't matter your major. And this is supposed to help you be able to explore our different areas in business without losing that ground towards graduation, but also just make you a well-rounded business person upon graduation as well. So it's really good for both those like kind of exploration, but also just kind of understanding what you're doing and what other areas might be doing too. Then just some of the basic major requirements that we offer or that you need to complete. So within data analytics does have our highest math requirement. So you'll take Math 1210 and then Math 2270. And then there is a new class that I forgot to put on the slide. It's DSAI 2275, and it's like linear algebra for data science. So that one, if you are planning like with like those math classes, if you are going to take for that linear algebra requirement, we do prefer you take the DSAI 2275 over the 2270, but you're more than welcome to do either class to complete that second math requirement. If you haven't taken math in over a year since you last took a math class, you'll have to do something called the Alice Math Placement Exam for your calculus class at Math 1210. So just reach out to me and then we can kind of determine where you're at with math and if we need to do the ALEX or what like kind of your path forward is moving that. And then two other classes I like to mention are Data 3500 and our Data 3300. Both these classes, so 3500 is our Intro to Python, and then 3330 is our database management class, or I kind of like to call it like our Intro to SQL. Both these classes are going to be really helpful for you to take sooner rather than later in your academic journey here, because they are very helpful for giving you really just base knowledge and technical skills that you do need to be able to find those internships or really getting involved with like ASC and projects and things like that. A lot of our students have come back and have told us that these two classes were really helpful, and whether they were doing an internship that semester, that past summer, or just kind of with the involvement and having that confidence of getting more involved with things, because then they feel like they actually kind of understand the major more and what they're actually doing within data analytics. And then DegreeWorks, if you have more questions about DegreeWorks, please reach out to me. Please come talk to me. I can kind of give you a deeper rundown of DegreeWorks and like what I'm going to do right now. But DegreeWorks is just your degree requirements checklist. It's just a checklist of requirements that you have to complete to be able to graduate. This is also where we do a lot of our course planning. So if you come in and talk to us about like a graduation plan or just like, hey, I need classes for next semester, what do you suggest? I'll put them in the plan section on DegreeWorks. If you don't know where to find that, again, just reach out to me and I can kind of do a more deep dive of DegreeWorks with you. And then you can also use it as like a major minor exploration tool as well with like the what if function. But DegreeWorks is a really good tool. We use it during every appointment that you'll have with me. So it's a good way to just kind of keep track of your progress and kind of where you're at with things. And then we have our repeat policy. So in the Huntsman School of Business, for our business classes specifically, you get a total of 2 attempts at a class. You get the initial attempt at the class, that would be your first time, and then you get 1 repeat attempt at it. The grade will reflect the most recent attempt at the class. So if you get a class, and let's say you get a C and maybe like getting a C is just not up to your standard, I would suggest not retaking the class, because sometimes I've seen students that maybe not get a grade that's up to their standard. They retake it and then maybe they're like, oh, I already retaken this class once, like it'll be easier the second time around, and then they end up failing it. So if you get a good grade in the class, like anything that's like a C or above, just don't retake it if we don't need to retake it. If you do reach the maximum number of repeats, so if you do need a 3rd attempt at a business class, you will need to appeal for a 3rd attempt at it. We have that in place just so we want to make sure students aren't just like constantly spinning their wheels in a major that they maybe not graduate and whatnot. And then lastly, just some more registration calendars. Meet with me and we can talk about that. Wait list, if you do get off the wait list, that email normally gets sent to your USU A number email, so that's how we want you to check that. Freshman Academy, if you haven't taken Freshman Academy, we highly suggest students do this during their first year here. I'm in the Huntsman School. Come meet with me to learn more about that. Follow us on Instagram to kind of stay up to date with a bunch of the topics and stuff that we're doing. Lastly, take owner in your education. Like me and Valerie are here to help you, but also at the same time, it's on you to kind of understand some of the stuff that's going on too. We're here to teach you. We're here to help you learn that stuff. So reach out to us with like any questions that you have. I might be able to answer it. Valerie might not be able to answer it, but if we can't answer it, we'll make sure to connect you with that resource that can. Lastly, if you are like a transfer student or a new student here, make sure to just check your transcript for any of like your AP, concurrent enrollment, or transfer classes are applied. I like to suggest that just because sometimes students come in, they haven't got their classes transferred over yet, and then it just makes it difficult to suggest classes for you. So just make sure you have everything on there. And then differential tuition is something that happens in the Huntsman School that's specific to your business classes only. This is just kind of you guys pay a little bit of a premium to take our business classes with things, and it pays for a lot of resources like me and Valerie, a lot of the events that happen in the Huntsman School, the professors that we have. So there's a lot of good that comes out of differential tuition. And then for more information, just contact us. There are emails. If you want to look for more information on the website, you can as well. And then lastly, right, schedule an appointment with us. But the main point about this, to get official participation for this workshop, and so we can mark you as complete and possibly remove the hold that you might have on your account for registration, is the QR code on your left-hand side. You're going to want to fill out that, or you can type in the URL at the bottom into the any web browser, and that would pull up the survey. But you're going to want to complete the survey for this. This just kind of goes over some of the basics that we talked about, and then it'll ask you to set some goals and stuff at the end of it. But thank you for attending our welcome workshop. Again, if you do have any other questions, like reach out to me or Valerie, and we can help you with get those answered for you. But yeah.